With increasing costs of conventional fuels and growing need to adopt cleaner, more sustainable energy sources, compressed natural gas (CNG) has become a viable alternative for vehicle owners in Nigeria. An alternative source that government is leaning towards to integrate clean energy technology into Nigerian automotive industry. Central to this push is the provision of standards and guidelines for safe and efficient installation of components that supports the use of CNG in vehicles, especially in hybrid systems where vehicles can switch between CNG and petrol or diesel. Thanks for joining us on Nigeria Today. I'm your carrier, Clinton. Now, with me in the studio for this conversation is the Director General, National Automotive Design and Development Council, NADDC, Oluwemimo Joseph Osanikmi. You're welcome to Nigeria Today.
Yeah, thank you.
Also with us for the conversation is Engineer Best Nnodim, the President, Automotive Sector Skills Council, Nigeria. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll start with you, Engineer Nnodim. Let's start from the basics. What is retrofitting, CNG retrofitting? What does it mean, and how does it really work?
Okay. CNG retrofitting is simply the process of converting a petrol-powered vehicle or diesel-powered vehicle to run on CNG. It involves a very simple process of making use of the conversion kit, the tank, the pressure regulator, the lines that will be connected directly to the injectors, and it's designed for compatibility. So it makes use of all the components and simply converting a conventional vehicle that is running on petrol or on diesel into gas, that is a compressed natural gas. So that process of converting it to fit into that purpose, which makes it hybrid, is called retrofitting.
Thank you very much. Now, DG, or would I say Osanikmi, having heard these retrofit, it's not like it's new in Nigeria that we are retrofitting. It's just the word, the nomenclature here. Now, we're talking about the retrofitting guidelines in Nigeria. What are the key considerations of these guidelines? What exactly does it entail?
Yeah, the guidelines state the process that whoever is converting has to follow, the process you have to take during conversion. Everything. It states how to identify or how to source for your kits, what to look out for on those kits, what to look out for when, for example, you take a cylinder, what you are going to look out for on those cylinders. So again, it's going to state every step-by-step you need to take, and that's why we call it guide. But before the guide, we have the NOS on its own, which is National Occupational Standard. So that standard have stated what are needed. It's just like the curriculum that states everything for training. But this guide now will tell you step-by-step process of retrofitting. Retrofitting, as you mentioned, is just a way of converting a vehicle that's currently use PMS or AGO, which is diesel, to then you now change it to convert it to one that is being powered by compressed natural gas.
Now, you talked about the hybrid. Tell us exactly what you mean by hybrid.
Okay. So once there is more than one source of energy that drives the car, you can refer it as hybrid. For converted vehicles that run on CNG, recall what the DG said earlier, most of them are already running on petrol. And petrol is a source of energy. We call it PMS, Premium Motor Spirit. So they go to filling station, they fuel it. There's a combination by design, a quantity of the petrol and air that comes in, get compressed, and it goes directly inside the cylinders and goes directly inside the engine to produce the needed power for the vehicle to run. Likewise, diesel. When every vehicle that is using diesel, the the air gets compressed first. Once it gets compressed, gets hot, the injector spray diesel on it, and it becomes a source of energy to drive the engine so that it would produce the needed power for the vehicle to run. Now, when it's converted to CNG, what it means that it's already on a gaseous state. And for it to power any vehicle, it must be brought to gaseous state. So now that it's already on gaseous state, it goes directly to the cylinder, to the combustion chamber, without being compressed any longer. And one of the benefits is that cleaner energy, no pollution, and the environment will be friendly, it will be eco-friendly. So that's one of those benefits. So being hybrid means there is more than one source of energy that is driving the vehicle. So if I fill up the CNG tank, let's say in Lagos, and I'm traveling to Ondo State, there'll be a gauge to tell me the quantity I have left. If I'm running low and there's no refilling station by the roadside, I'll quickly switch over to petrol. That's what makes it hybrid.
So I was about asking that particular one. Do you use them at the same time or one after the other?
No, you don't use it at the same time.
Okay.
There's a switch. Oh. There's a switch in the vehicle. During the fitting process.
Okay.
Yes, there's a switch. Want to go over to the conventional petrol or diesel, you just press the knob and it takes you over. So when you get to another filling station, that CNG power filling station, you can now fill the gas and continue your journey. Now,
before I come to you, Osanikwe, talk to us, how safe is this, using the CNG, really? Because some persons are like afraid this thing can explode at any time. So yes, clear our minds on that.
It's an issue that's giving a lot of people concern, but it's safe. It's even safer than the petrol that we're using. Petrol is highly volatile. It can explode at any time under an intense temperature. Most households, most Nigerians are using the cooking gas already. And they are initially, remember, before the cooking gas, that's phobia. They are going to burn the houses, they are going to create panic. But after explaining and conscientizing people, almost every household today, which you agree with me, they're using cooking gas. And once you apply the safety measures, it will work. So such is equally applicable to CNG. Just there are necessary safety procedures. There's a provision for the leak detection to make sure such thing will not occur. There are pressure and temperature monitoring to let us know the quantity that is there and monitor if there's any escape of this. So it's very, very safe. Petrol usage is even more volatile than CNG.
Another question I would ask, but I will want Osanikwe to answer. How cost effective is it? I know they've often said, okay, it is cheaper. How cheap?
How far cheaper? Let me use ratio. For example, in tricycle, the cost of the same, the cost of PMS that will cover the same distance with CNG, the CNG is about ratio 1:5:8, which means when you spend 2,000 on CNG, you are going to spend 10,000 on PMS. And for vehicle, in most of the vehicle is ratio 1:2. So when you look at it, and in some vehicles it's ratio 1:3. So that is to tell you is very, very, very cheap compared to PMS. So it's cheaper compared to PMS. And when you compare it to AGO, which is diesel, in fact, it's about ratio 1:4.
Okay. So another question is, how accessible are these conversion centers and, of course, the filling stations for these CNG?
Okay, let me take the issue of conversion center first. Conversion centers are today, we have conversion center in every state of the federation, and it's easy to access. You can easily go to any of these, and we have the list on our website. The list of the locations are still on the website of Presidential CNG Initiative. So any Nigerian can pick anyone closer to them and do the conversion. Then, as you mentioned, very safe. But then how accessible the availability of gas? Yes, program director of Presidential CNG Initiative said something today, which I also agree with. You know, the success of a program is measured when it the other, will lead to another challenge. So now, the fact that a lot of Nigerians are already converting, it means there is going to be pressure on the existing facility or existing infrastructure, and that has created a little challenge, and that challenge is being addressed now, especially the availability of gas. It's not that gas is not available, but to get the gas to the stations and to have those stations that will dispense, that's a little challenge we are having now. But as I'm talking to you now, a lot of investors are already investing in dispensing. That's the stations that will be dispensing gas. And then a lot of investment is also going to how to move, that is transportation, that is to move the gas from where it is produced to those dispensing outlets.
Now, back to you, Engineer. We talk about conversion so much, okay, just like as Anikwe mentioned, that arrangements are, of course, measures are in place to ensure that we have the station where the centers are accessible. Of course, the availability of the CNG is there. So how do we have enough trained persons, to have this conversion?
Okay.
Because it's one thing to convert, another thing to convert it very well, like properly.
Yes. It's a very nice question. Just like the DG said, there's always a teething challenge whenever any initiative comes up. In fact, from what he said, the presidential CNG initiative, the chairman today made it clear that investors are coming in, but those that will be able to manage those conversion vehicles to ensure that they are running efficiently is now the challenge. We cannot go and be importing technicians to be able to do it. And the DG in his remark today called for collaboration. Today, a lot of organizations, they were ready to partner with the NLDC. And one key organization that is ready to partner with the NLDC is the Industrial Training Fund. The ITF with the mandate to train and develop indigenous manpower sufficient enough to meet the needs of the economy have already begun discussions to partner with the National Automotive Council to train additional artisans that will be able to handle this converting of vehicles, yes, the process. Because from the kit, there are about 17 components that any technician must understand. And it's not just the person that will be able to do the conversion. You need an aspect that has to do with welding, because the tank needs to be protected so that it will not be shaking or wobbling, or any other thing put there will be affecting it. You equally need somebody that is in electrical, good knowledge of electrical. They'll be able to do the test running, check out the electrical pulses and the interferences, and make sure those things are in line with the standard, and to ensure there is safety. So they are going to work in synergy. So it's not going to be just the auto electrician that will be able to fix that. So the ITF, the NLDC, DG equally mentioned in one of the meetings I had with him that is going to even collaborate further with Nigerian Institute of Transport, Zaria. So with all these relevant government agencies, they will come together, get those technicians that will be trained and certified. So when they now, they will be the ones to man these conversion centers. And NLDC has been accrediting in all these conversion centers. So go there, go with their vehicle, get it converted, they will test run it, certify you fit before you now put it in use. So it's a gradual process, but with a combination of coming together of these relevant government agencies, no doubt in the next couple of months, there will be enough technicians to man converted vehicles.
Thank you very much. We'll take a short break now. The conversation will continue after the break. Don't go away.
Implementation of the ruling is also dependent on another aspect or another arm of government.
Nowhere in the world will allow under digital economy for banks not to be dispensing domestic currency in that economy.
What will make this one different? We want to know what they do as occupation. All of these are attributes that our questions have been designed to investigate.
In a few days to come, you see that they are all around their own crannies and everywhere in Nigeria, telling people to cooperate.
Welcome to Nigeria Today. Welcome back. This is still Nigeria Today, and we are looking at the Cng retrofitting guidelines in Nigeria. And of course, I have two experts here in the studio for this conversation. Now, back to you, Sanik. Engineer Nodim here talked about so much about government, agencies coming together to ensure that this works. Now, what about the private sector? Where do they come in here?
Yeah, a lot of the workshop we have, as of today, we have about 300 workshops. And I can tell you that 99% of this workshop are owned by private sector. So they are private sector driven. So most of what we are doing in CNG, we want them to be private sector driven. Government is going to come with policy, which we are doing, come with regulation, which we are doing. And even the training we are doing now, most of the training we are doing are focused on the private sector also. So we ensure that we build the capacity not only in public sector alone, but also in private sector. So private sector are involved because we want to drive investment, and it is private sector that are going to invest in most of these things. Is it the training? Is it the production of the gas? Is it the movement of the gas from one location to the other? Or is it the dispensing? All these are majorly driven by private sector. Though government started most of them, government invests in training, and for us, we didn't stop at that. We have produced the NOS, National Occupational Standard, that is going to guide the process. And this standard will be made available to the same private sector, which we are going to use for training of all the people that will be involved, the technicians and other assessors and everybody that will be involved in the process.
So the guidelines now, you're talking about the retrofitting guidelines that we're talking about, you wrote these guidelines, or is strictly by the government?
No, the guideline is the guideline. Before the guideline, there is NOS. There are two NOS.
Yes.
So National Occupational Standard for conversion, calibrating, and maintenance of CNG-powered vehicle. Okay. And then we have another one for electric vehicle. So from this, we develop the guideline. Having have the NOS, from there we now develop the guideline. So the guideline is to simplify the process you go through in converting. So this process, this guideline, the NOS, the guideline, were put together by Sector Skill Council. And the Sector Skill Council have about 17 different stakeholders. So we have NADDC, which is the secretariat, and which is the custodian of the council of the SSC, that is Sector Skill Council. And then we have a lot of other agencies and private sectors, ITF, NIT, and then don't forget we have MBT, that is National Board for Technical Education. They are there to even certify this process. So we have a lot of government agencies as well as private sector. So we have in the board now, we have a majority of the people in the board are from private sector. I think it's about ratio 70-30. So we have people from private sector, from Motor Vehicle Manufacturing Association, Bicycle Manufacturing Association, Motorcycle Manufacturing Associations, people from academic. We have, in fact, in different sectors, all of them we come together to form, to produce this NOS as well as the guideline. So it's not only public agencies that we collaborate with. We collaborate with all the stakeholders. So and we have about 17 of them.
Okay, Engineer Nodim, I know we've talked about it, the environmental benefit, but I wanted to throw more light on the environmental benefits of CNG and how it can, further reduce emission.
Okay. Before I discuss that, remember prior to 1996, vehicles were running on carburetor. You agree with me that sometime you will just see a vehicle parked by the roadside. What's the problem? They will tell you it's overfloating. Overfloating simply means there is enough fuel dump in the carburetor. As a result, it will not move. Or sometimes there is no petrol in the carburetor. Technicians or mechanics will just open one pipe, draw up petrol, pour it there together with a spit. So vehicle manufacturers now devise another means where there will be injectors instead of carburetors. Now the fuel and the air mixture are now, sent directly to each of the cylinder. That's why for modern vehicles, you see V4, which means 4 cylinders, V6, 6 cylinders, V8, 8 cylinders. One cylinder may fail and others will continue to carry the vehicles to go. So what it simply means is that if you're using PMS, Premium Motor Spirit, there is a ratio 14:1 where the air will come in, petrol will come in. Both of them will be compressed by movement of the piston up and down. That compressing will make it to be in a gaseous state. So, and because it's petrol, the only gas that supports burning in a vehicle is oxygen. That means oxygen, according to simple science we learn, contains 21% of air. The air we breathe in contains 21% of oxygen. That means the vehicle will make use of only 21%. The other 78 or 79 need to leave the way they came in. If they should react in any way with oxygen, it will pollute the environment. So that's why they put sensors in vehicles to check. And the essence of sensors in the vehicle is to make sure there will be no pollution to the environment. Now, narrowing it down to CNG, is already a gas that doesn't pollute the environment already. So it's eco-friendly. The percentage is even more than below 1% or 1 point something percent. So, and being in a gaseous state already, you don't need compression. It goes straight to the combustion chamber, burns clean, and is eco-friendly. So in that case, that's why the president has, mandated that let this go on. And just like the DG said, somebody told me in Lagos, if you refuel, if you're using a Toyota Corolla 2004 model and you refill it for 5,000, you can go to Ibadan and return back, compared to petrol that you cannot buy less than 20,000 to make such a trip. So it's eco-friendly, cost-effective. Yes, the kit may be expensive, but the presidential CNG initiative have stepped in to reduce the cost, especially for commercial vehicle operators, because these are the people that convey the food items we buy from different locations, from the remote areas to town. So emphasis is on them first before it can be able to reach out to other road users. And
I hope this will reflect on our transportation fare, because as much as we say that the CNG is a lot of persons have converted really, but then again, the transportation fare.
It will reflect. The presidential CNG initiative, they are working with the transport unions. It's only recognized members of the transport union that are receiving this incentive from government. If you watch most recently, even tricycles are benefiting. Watch most tricycle under the driver. You see the tank under there. It's just that I know that other relevant government agencies like the National Orientation and others will still step in to press on Nigerians. Most of them are benefiting from this. If you go to the queues, if he's not benefiting, they won't queue. They will not queue. Nigerians don't like wasting their time. So we will press them. We will continue to sensitize them to reduce the cost.
Thank you very much, Engineer Best Nnodim, President, Automotive Skills Council, Nigeria. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your expertise with us. And also the Director General, National Automotive Design and Development Council, NADDC, Oluwemimo Joseph Osanikmi. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for.
And thank you for being part of the program. I'm your carrier, Clinton. Goodbye.